He's Frank Whaley. His Twitter handle, the Frank Whaley, from Syracuse, New York, and he's got an independent film, Like Sunday, Like Rain. Been in a few movies I'm sure you've heard of. Pulp Fiction, Field of Dreams, The Doors, JFK, Swimming with Sharks. That's a pretty good resume there.
I've been around.
Yeah. But these, okay, you've been with some pretty important actors.
Yes.
When you're acting, with your Nicholson or Brando or Costner, whoever it is, do you try to overact or do you sit back and let them?
I always overact. Doesn't matter who I'm working with. It's just my style. I try to go way over the top. It's something I can't control.
But are you trying to steal the scene?
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, but these guys got big egos, though. How do they feel if you're trying to steal the scene?
They usually don't notice me. Yeah, it's they once in a while they'll look over and what is that? But normally I go without notice.
Did you try to steal the scene in Pulp Fiction with Samuel L. Jackson?
I was so terrified of him in that scene that I was kind of frozen. So in that scene, there was very little acting going on in that scene.
But why did he scare you?
He was ferocious in that scene, and I didn't really know. I had just arrived, a day before, and I'd never met Sam before that, and he was so alive and electric from the very beginning of that scene that it was kind of riveting to watch.
Well, then, so you're not acting. You're just reacting.
I was pretty much reacting, especially in the close shots, because as I recall, that was kind of the first things they did, and it was really terrifying.
How tough is it to die on camera from the perspective of your family when they watch? I mean, it's one thing that you're acting, but they don't like to see you die.
Fortunately, there's no movies or televisions in jail. So my family is excluded from my viewership. Yeah, they're all pretty much incarcerated.
Most intimidating actor aside from Samuel you work with, because you're with Brando in The Freshman.
Yeah. I think.
And you got a guy fired because you took a picture with Brando.
I did. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I just saw him on the Jersey Turnpike collecting bottles. I would say Nicholson. Nicholson was pretty. I worked with him twice, and I worked with him in my first film, which was called Ironweed. It was back in the '80s, and I remember when I got the role, the director, I was playing him as a young man in this film. I was playing him in flashback scenes. And they brought me to his trailer, and he had to approve the person who was playing him as a young man.
Oh boy!
Yeah, and so he came to the door, and he opened the door. He had a trailer the size of Newark, and he opened the door, and as I recall, he was adjusting his pants as he opened the door. I'm not sure what he was doing, and he said, all right, we'll see what happens," and that was it. And then I got back on the train from Albany to New York, and they called me and said,
so that was it. He just gave you a 5-second.
Yeah, he looked at me.
Look, see, and that's it.
That was it. Yeah, and then I worked with him again in Hoffa, and he was just really kind of cranky because he wanted to get to the Bulls game. I think there was the Bulls were in the playoff, and he wanted to get to the playoff game.
But you kill him in Hoffa.
I do. Yeah, I play the man who kills Hoffa.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting. I shot myself.
And well, you also were in JFK with Costner. Did that help you get into Field of Dreams with Costner?
Field of Dreams was before JFK.
Oh, what? It was.
Yeah, and but it probably helped in some way.
I'm trying to think. I didn't realize that.
Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams was 80. I'm not sure what year. It all blends together in my mind.
What do you get on the street if we're walking in New York or LA? What movie are they going to bring up?
Usually Pulp Fiction or Swimming with Sharks, or if I've done a lot of television work, and if I have appeared on, say, like The Blacklist, the next day if I'm on the subway, there'll be people looking at me funny, and sometimes they think I'm John Cryer. And sometimes they'll say, "Wow, you have really aged, John." And other times,
You'd like to have that paycheck from 2.5 Men.
I wouldn't mind it. Yeah. I wouldn't mind it. Yeah.
You had Spacey, though, Swimming with Sharks. That was a while ago, right?
That was 94. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Great actor, though.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, him?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's fine. He's fine. Yeah. That was fun.
I love that movie, though.
It's a great movie. I think it holds up, and he's great. We had, it's very much indicative of Hollywood. It's really, I think, the way it worked then, the way it works now. That's why it's kind of an interesting artifact.
When you sometimes people will go, "Oh, you're that guy."
Right.
Like you've had so many great roles here in great movies. Are you one of those that guys?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think that people identify me. I have a very unique face. You might notice it's not like any other face you would see on any other adult male,
Except for John Cryer.
except for a young John Cryer, or maybe I have the body of a 13-year-old girl. So unfortunately, it's not a great look. So people do remember it, and yeah, I'm identified a lot with. Oh, well, hey, I love you. So yeah.
Do you keep any memorabilia, anything from these movies aside from the picture you got with Brando? But Field of Dreams, do you get to keep a briefcase or
I had
the hat you wore?
I used to have a lot of that stuff, and then tax issues. I had to sell it. I had an auction. I made $750, and it all went. But no, I used to have the whole uniform, the whole Field of Dreams uniform, and I think I just took it. I think I just the heavy cotton uniform, and I think it's somewhere in a box, somewhere in the storage, Manhattan mini storage somewhere.
But you did keep it.
I did keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept it, the cleats, the glove, the hat, everything. Yeah.
McLovin has a question for you. We brought this up at the start of the show. Yes, McLovin.
I'm not sure he can hear me, but can
go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I don't want this messes up my. This takes time, so I don't like it.
So career opportunities. Did you have a chance with Jennifer Connelly in real life?
Jennifer and I, yes. Well,
Frank's
Jennifer,
wife is in the back in the green room.
yes. My wife is here, and she knows the whole story. No, Jennifer and I were very close friends, and she was actually underage. She was 17 when her mom was with her while we were making that film. And her mom and I made love only once. But it was very, very, very brief, and I don't think she was aware of it at the time. We were at a bowling alley. No, but no, I love Jennifer, and she's so talented. And no, I was more of a mentor to Jennifer. Yeah, I was her mentor.
If she would have been of age.
If you look at me and you look at Jennifer Connelly, I think you can answer that question on your own. I don't think she would have had anything. She was with Dweezil Zappa, I believe, at that time.
I think you're saying that you couldn't compete with Dweezil Zappa?
I could never compete with a man named Dweezil, and he had great hair. Dweezil had some great hair. A good-looking guy.
Dweezil had a good run there for a while.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Dweez, he's probably at the mention of his name, he probably sat up in the valley somewhere and said, "What? Who is it now?"
And what Moon Unit was another one of Frank Zappa's kids?
Oh, I thought you were a pseudonym for my privates.
Your Moon Unit.
Yes. Yes, that was Moon Unit. Was she had Valley Girl? She had the big hit Valley Girl in the 80s. Great song. Yes.
We'll continue with Frank. I'll talk about the new independent film. Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day is in this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He sure is.
We'll talk about that. We'll continue with Frank Whaley. Frank Whaley is still with us. Directed the independent film Like Sunday, Like Rain. It opens in select theaters. It's about a struggling musician who becomes a 12-year-old musical prodigy's guardian for his summer. Leighton Meester's in it. Deborah
Jeez, that
Messing.
sounds boring. God.
Billy Joe Armstrong among the cast.
Yeah, but
Do you want to sell it better than that?
Don't get the wrong idea about this film. It might sound like a very melodramatic, independent, pretentious. This is an action film at its heart. We got snipers.
Is this Michael Bay type explosions in there?
This is more like Richard Bay. This is action at its finest. It's a thriller. Somebody kidnaps the boy, and somebody says, "I'm going to get my son back." At least 3 times.
Is this a Liam Neeson type?
Liam is in it. Liam Neeson is in this film.
He is in that.
Liam Neeson is in this film. It opens at the City Cinemas, Village East. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm going to be there tomorrow night in the theater. I sell popcorn. It's my part-time job. I sell popcorn.
Tickets?
Yeah, I take it. It's a temporary thing. I'm going to get out of this debt.
So when you got a hold of Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day.
Yes.
Okay, how do you sell him on this movie?
Please.
Okay, that always
No,
helps.
Billy Joe, he plays a kind of a wannabe musician, and my casting director said, "Well, how about an actual get an actual musician for this part?" And I hadn't thought of it. It was a good idea, and so I wanted Bruce Springsteen. He wasn't available. We tried, we tried for the guys in Skinnerd. They said no, don't bother us. So no, we went. So she said, "How about Billy Joe?" He had done some acting. He had done an episode of Nurse Jackie, which I saw, and it was really good. And so we sent him the script. He said he would love to do it. He didn't want anything special, just an 8-ball in the morning, and that was it. And we said, "Fine, Billy Joe, whatever you need, my friend." And he was so incapacitated. I think he thought he was on tour. No, but he came in and he was very sweet. Great guy, and you'll see if you go see the movie, you'll see he's a really good actor, and he's moving into that direction, and as well he should. He's really good, and he brought something completely different to the role than I had envisioned, and I'm really proud of it.
You know that we love talking movies with you, the ones you've been in, and the Samuel L. Jackson scene in Pulp Fiction. That you had not met him, and then all of a sudden he comes alive. The first take, you realize this guy means business there.
Yeah.
Big Jerry Curl got the gun there.
Right.
And your line, I said,
Travolta was kissing the back of my neck all day, which was soothing and also a little bit off-putting. He asked if he could just.
Now looking back,
I'm still very, 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 very affected by it.
Who affected you more, Travolta or Samuel L. Jackson?
He said things like, "After lunch, can I rub your lower back?" And I would say, "Yes, fine. I'm pretty loose, John."
You don't plan on working in Hollywood again, do you, Frank?
Never. And they don't trust me. That's not an issue. That's not going to be an issue. My agent's still working on an episode of Matlock for me.
Murder, She Wrote.
I said, but isn't that off the air? He said, "Don't worry about it." He's 94 years old. He represents me and Suzanne Plachette. What am I going to do?
So when you're in that scene, all you have to do is, your line is what, right?
That's
all you say is
pretty much
what?
Yeah, pretty much what? Yeah.
Can you screw up just saying the word what? Like the timing of it?
I tried to stay on my cues because I was afraid of what might happen to me.
Did he ad-lib anything with that script? I don't know if Tarantino allows you to ad-lib.
Not a word. No.
Oh, no, everything is...
No. I think he co-wrote that script, but it was very word specific, every word, especially that scene. I think he's quoting, the Bible, and so it's hard to paraphrase. And so it was, it's a very, a movie set like a Quentin Tarantino or Oliver Stone. They're very serious places.
So you did JFK with Oliver Stone.
I did. I did Born on the 4th of July, The Doors, World Trade Center, and JFK.
Oh, wow.
Stone, at the same time. That's the kind of actor I am.
How tough? Okay, if you could work with Tarantino or Oliver Stone. Since you're not going to work in Hollywood again.
I would probably say, I can't answer that question. I would say Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, because he's younger.
But is Oliver Stone, like you just hear stories, you don't know what's true or not. Like him as a director.
Yes.
How tough?
Pretty tough. The first film I did with him, which was Born on the 4th of July, I came to set, my first day of filming, I had a big scene with Tom Cruise. And the day before, I had been in Carolina, North Carolina, doing a movie called Little Monsters with Howie Mandel and Fred Savage, where I played a 2,000-year-old boy. Brilliant. I was nominated for 6 Academy Awards for that one role. But I was young and I was taking all these roles, and they offered me this role in Little Monsters, and so at some point I was offered the role in Born on the 4th of July, and so I had to finish the scene, and I had 4 hours of prosthetic makeup on from Little Monsters. Had to wash it off, get on a plane, come, and by the time I got to set that morning, I didn't have my lines memorized. I had a big scene with Tom Cruise, and Oliver Stone was he understood and I learned the enormity of being in that film. That's an Academy Award nominated film, and with Tom Cruise, and so he let me have it in front of the entire crew, and and Tom Cruise, who was sitting right next to me. Well, he was actually sitting in my lap at that point, but it was.
Does he just yell "cut"? Frank, boom, then just goes in and starts.
He was sitting about 20 feet away, and he kind of sits around in a tent, like a kind of a duvetined kind of closed-in tent, and I just heard, "Hold on a second,"
Oh, boy.
because I mean, it was the first rehearsal of the day. It wasn't like the cameras were rolling. It was, we came in, people were, having coffee, and I had the, the script pages in my hand, and I had no idea he was coming at me. And he walked right up to me. And he said, "What the bleep are you doing? What do you think What do you think you are?" And he slapped the pages out of my hand and said, "Get off this set." And I had no idea if I was fired or what. And I went out, and the first assistant director said, "Just, he wants you to go in and prepare yourself before you come back on the set." And it was something else. Yeah, it was scary.
The movie is Like Sunday, Like Rain.
Flows right off the tongue, doesn't it?
Like Sunday, Like Rain.
Like Sunday, Like Rain. What a beautiful movie.
It sounds like
A lot of action.
it sounds like a song title, Like Sunday, Like Rain.
Well, it actually is. It's a movie about music, and that is a song title that it figures into the film.
See what I did? That's
yes,
just
yes,
me.
good. Yeah.
Very, very perceptive.
Yeah, it'll be seen by 6 people.
That's
3
all
shut-ins and a nun, and 2 people who walked into the wrong theater.
Add us.
Yes.
So you can
You
add
guys are gonna
5
go see it?
Yeah.
Well, you actually, I joke, but it's actually a really incredibly beautiful movie. We've been playing at film festivals around the world for the past year, and it's really wonderful. I'm proud of it. I wrote it and directed it.
If they want to find out more information about it.
They can follow me on Twitter at Frank Whaley, the Frank Whaley,
Frank
or
Whaley.
or Like Sunday Like Rain movie on Facebook, Twitter,
good.
or go to the Monterey Media website. It opens this Friday at the City Cinemas Village East in New York. It opens next weekend in California. It's playing across the country, and it's quite a wonderful.
It's good to see you. Thank you,
Good to
Frank.
see you.
Thanks for coming in.
My
The
pleasure.
movie
Thanks for having me.
Like Sunday, Like Rain.